CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Mekovic.
And right now in the afternoon edition, breaking news, San Mateo County supervisors have selected a new sheriff. Good afternoon, I'm Ryan Yamamoto in for Ann. In just the past half hour, the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors selected Gilroy Interim Police Chief Ken Bender as sheriff after questioning three finalists. Those finalists were San Francisco Police veteran David Lazar, Bender, and Solano County College Police Chief Brian Travis. The supervisors picked Bender. He spent the majority of his law enforcement career with the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department. When voting, supervisors cited his experience working in corrections as a reason why they picked him. He also worked in Cupertino, Saratoga, and Los Altos Hills. And today's appointment comes 1 year to the day since the Board of Supervisors released a report from an independent investigator alleging misconduct from former Sheriff Christina Corpus. She was removed from office in October. Corpus was denied, and he has denied any wrongdoing. Okay, to our first alert weather right now. A live look outside. Parts of the Bay Area could see on and off showers ahead of the rain and strong winds on the way. Let's go over to first alert meteorologist Jessica Birch with more on the timing, kind of the calm before the storm.
It is the calm before the storm right now. Heading into the next 24 hours, things are going to look a lot different as this atmospheric river pushes in throughout the whole West Coast. Now, for us here in the Bay, we're going to see strong winds into the evening hours tonight. A lot of rain, snow for our friends up in the Sierra, and significantly cooler weather right around the corner, actually, as we head into the next 24 hours, too. So let's start off a little bit closer to the Bay. What you see behind me, I just want to start off by showing you what the National Weather Service has issued. High wind warnings widespread throughout our West Coast as we are gearing up for up to around 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. At the same time, our daytime highs are pretty mild right now, but the really big story that I want to get straight into has to do with those showers pushing in from offshore. Into the overnight hours tonight, it starts off light, but it gets heavier as we wake up tomorrow morning. Just during the commute hours, we can see anywhere up to around 1/4 inch of rain in places like the East Bay, but even more impressive numbers the more south we go down into the Santa Clara Valley or up along the foothills for that matter, up to around 1 inch forecasted just for Thursday alone in places like Los Gatos. We zoom all the way up into the North Bay now. Take a look at these numbers. It's going to be impressive widespread throughout the Bay Area as these showers track in from offshore, bringing in a chance of thunderstorm activity right around the corner too. So that's what we're monitoring as we head into the next 24 hours. I'm going to time this out for you hour by hour as we come up to our first alert forecast. But for now, I'm going to send it back over to you.
All right, thanks, Jess. Well, our first alert weather coverage continues now with Veronica Macias, who talked with people getting ready for the storm in Sonoma County.
Here in the city of Sonoma, we're not seeing very many people coming by early for the sandbags, but we're seeing the light rain already. The system already coming into the North Bay.
I come from Alaska, so most of the time it's rainy and snow all the time. So that's why I enjoy this weather, because it's not too rainy like Alaska.
I notice a lot of umbrellas, and I'm like, you big baby, what is wrong with you? Just put a hat on. I did my rain time in Seattle. An atmospheric river does not scare me.
The city telling people if you have a history of flooding at your property, right now is the time to prepare. You still have quite a bit of time before it moves in tonight. Heavy rain, that is. So come by, pick up your bag. It's BYO. Bring your own shovel, bring your own bag. They've refilled the station here. If you don't have those bags, they're available free over at City Hall. You have to show proof of residency. Some people who have been coming by, walking their dogs, telling me last year they did see a significant amount of rain in the area. Napa Road flooded significantly. So for anyone who lives around the North Bay Mountains, anyone who lives in the Santa Cruz Mountains, stay aware of those emergency notifications. Right now is the time to sign up for them. That's the reminder. Also, the city of Sonoma has set up a real-time level website where you can track things in your area. That is sonoma.onerain.com if you'd like to stay up to date and stay prepared.
All right, thanks, Veronica. We'll have updated forecasts throughout the day, timing out the storm and the potential impacts. You can also check anytime on KPIX.com and streaming on the free CBS News app. Okay, new at noon, it's official. The San Francisco Center Mall just sold for a major discount. According to the SF Standard, the property was auctioned back to lenders today for just $133 million. That's a far cry from the $1 billion valuation in 2023 when its former owners, Westfield and Brookfield, walked away from the property. The mall is now nearly empty with a 93% vacancy rate. Only a handful of food court tenants now remain. Now to a developing story. House Democrats have released new emails that appear to contradict President Trump's claim that he did not know about Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring. The emails appear to be from Epstein himself, claiming that Trump spent time with one of the victims at the Epstein property. Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
The emails released by House Democrats Wednesday appear to come from Jeffrey Epstein's personal Gmail account, writing about President Trump. In an April 2011 message that appears to be sent to his convicted co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein wrote, quote, "I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim spent hours at my house with him." The victim's name was redacted. In another message, apparently sent to journalist Michael Wolff in January 2019, Epstein wrote about Trump, quote, "Of course he knew about the girls," as he asked Ghislaine to stop. The emails have not been independently verified by CBS News, but Epstein is alleging Trump knew about his conduct. In July 2019, Trump denied any knowledge of Epstein's sex trafficking operation, and he said he'd had a falling out with his one-time friend.
I did have a falling out a long time ago. The reason doesn't make any difference, frankly, but I haven't spoken to him in probably 15 years or more. I wasn't a big fan of Jeffrey Epstein, that I can tell you.
Trump has called the so-called Epstein files a hoax, but many of his own supporters have pushed for their release. A group of House lawmakers believes it will soon have the votes to release them, with a new Democratic member sworn in today. Ghislaine Maxwell is now serving a 20-year prison sentence for her role in the sex trafficking ring. House Democrats allege she has received preferential treatment at her federal prison and that she is appealing to President Trump to commute her sentence.
And the White House issued a statement this morning saying the release of the Epstein emails was a bad faith effort to smear President Trump. And President Trump addressed the issue directly on Truth Social, saying, quote, "The Democrats are using the Jeffrey Epstein hoax to try and deflect from their massive failures, in particular, their most recent one, the shutdown." And earlier today, South Bay Representative Ro Khanna responded to questions about the House vote to call for the full release of the Epstein files.
Well, look, we're going to get the 218 signature today. That means by early December, we're going to get a full vote on the Epstein files. And today there were bombshell emails that came out showing that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell had emails about Donald Trump's knowledge of what was going on. So we need a full release of the files. Finally, that's going to happen.
Let's give you a live look at the nation's capital, where the longest government shutdown could soon end. The House is set to vote on a funding package that will happen this afternoon. Members met briefly before calling recess and are expected to bring a vote on the final passage. That should happen around 4 p.m. our time. If approved, it will be sent to President Trump to sign, which he is expected to do. The Senate approved that package on Monday. It extends funding for most agencies until the end of January. And despite a deal on the horizon, there is no guarantee flights will return to normal at the airport. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says it is still too early to tell. So far, nearly 900 flights are canceled nationwide, almost 60 between SFO and Oakland Airport. And today, air carriers are cutting 6% of their flights at the nation's 40 busiest airports. That is set to ramp up to 8% tomorrow. As for SNAP benefits, the Supreme Court is extending the pause on the judge's ruling ordering the administration to pay full benefits ahead of tonight's vote. In Sunnyvale, locals are joining in an expanded effort to provide food for those in need. Last week, nearly 37,000 people needed food at the Sunnyvale Community Services weekly food distribution program, a number not seen since the COVID-19 pandemic. The executive director tells us the Silicon Valley community is now stepping up.
Silicon Valley has a lot of wealth. There's a lot of income disparity. We also see a lot of hope. What fills my heart is that our volunteers are dancing and packing, and they know what to do, and their hard work is going to mean that people will be fed tonight.
And that drive-through food distribution program, that runs every Wednesday from 9 in the morning until 6 at night. And in Napa tonight, Winston's Restaurant is providing dinner for anyone impacted by funding delays. To get a meal, just bring your EBT card to receive a free dine-in or takeout meal. And we're proud to help local food banks with our Food for Bay Area families. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen and follow to the links to find out how you can donate or become a volunteer. You can also go to our website at kpix.com/give. Still ahead at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area, new route for Waymo. And it could be faster where the self-driving cars are hitting the freeways. Plus, how Google is fighting back against scammers who target you through text messages. Well, the search continues for San Francisco's new police chief. The police commission is under a self-imposed deadline to present a list of 3 finalists to Mayor Daniel Lurie by today. The 7-member panel has been vetting a pool of 34 applicants whose names have been closely guarded. The city hopes to name its new chief by the end of the year. Major move for Waymo. The self-driving car company is now offering freeway rides to some users in the Bay Area, Phoenix, and Los Angeles. The company says they could cut travel time by up to 50% on some trips. The autonomous vehicles, which already drive employees on highways, now expanding to places like San Jose, including airport pickups. Waymo says their cars reduce serious crashes by more than 90%, all compared to human drivers. This comes as the company faces a federal investigation tied to a school bus incident in Georgia. And if you park at BART, get ready to pay more. The transit agency just announced new rate hikes starting January 1st. BART will raise parking fees by up to 30% at high-demand stations like Glen Park, Rockridge, and Walnut Creek, with some spots going up more than $1 a day. Most other stations will see a 40-cent increase. And we have all gotten those sketchy text messages asking for passwords and money. Now, Google is taking action, and CBS News is getting an inside look at how the tech giant is fighting back against scammers trying to steal your information. National consumer correspondent Usher Karashi has the exclusive details.
If you've ever gotten a text like this, it could be part of a global phishing operation. The text looks legit, but it's a scam. Google says these fake stuck package or unpaid toll messages are part of a massive criminal network called Lighthouse that's stolen information through phishing and smishing scams, in which recipients are tricked into revealing personal and sensitive information.
These scammers ended up compromising anywhere from 15 to 100 million potential credit cards within the U.S. and impacted, at our current estimates, over 1 million victims.
Halima Delane Prado is the general counsel for Google. She told us in an exclusive interview the company filed what it calls a first-of-its-kind lawsuit under the RICO Act, typically used to take down organized crime rings. The case targets unknown operators listed as John Does 1 through 25, who allegedly built a phishing-as-a-service platform to power mass text attacks.
Would this suit help victims recover any losses?
I would say specifically no. The idea for this is to actually be a deterrent for future criminals to create similar enterprises. It's also to take down the infrastructure in and of itself.
The company says it found more than 100 fake sites using Google's logo to trick people into handing over passwords or credit card numbers. According to its complaint, Google estimates the group has stolen sensitive information linked to tens of millions of credit cards in the U.S. alone. Alongside the lawsuit, Google is throwing its support behind 3 bipartisan bills aimed at curbing scams and fraud.
What's the single biggest change you'd like to see in U.S. law?
I'd actually like to see more support for our law enforcement agencies. They need a lot of tooling, tools, tracking to actually help them combat this globally. And so looking at common sense bipartisan legislation that helps that effort is the sort of biggest bang for the buck.
And Mother Nature put on quite the light show. Look at that for the Bay Area if you were lucky enough to see it. Take a look at the northern lights from our camera at Black Mountain and Diablo. We caught these views just before 9 o'clock last night. It's beautiful. Check out the view from San Jose. Thanks to one of our viewers, they sent in these photos from the eastern side of the city. Federal forecasters say a powerful geomagnetic storm created these spectacular displays of the Aurora Borealis or the Northern Lights. Okay, back to our first alert weather. Let's take another live look from our Black Mountain camera in the South Bay. Can't see the lights right now, but let's check back in with meteorologist Jessica Birch, because instead of lights, we're going to see rain.
And to each their own, but I'm kind of excited about some rain in the Bay Area too. The issue with this storm that's pushing is that it's an atmospheric river moving in from offshore, so it's going to bring in heavy amounts of rain, thunderstorm activity at times early tomorrow morning, and some gusty winds, making that morning commute tomorrow pretty tricky. So just take your time out there tomorrow. Now is the time to prepare when it comes to any outdoor items such as Halloween decorations or whatever it may be that could potentially blow into your neighbor's yard. This is what we're going to be dealing with tomorrow morning as we wake up and head out the door. Heavy winds gusting anywhere up to around 60 miles per hour along the coast, about 50 mile per hour winds forecasted in some of our inland spots. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to see sustained winds that long and that strong, but it's still worth noting that some of these winds could be damaging for power lines and, of course, any outdoor objects. So if it's trash day tomorrow, just keep that in mind, right? Well, here's our rainfall totals that we're anticipating as we head into our forecast tomorrow. Anywhere up to around a ½ inch in places like Napa, all the way up into Vallejo, and pretty impressive rainfall totals stretched all the way down into the Santa Clara Valley too. So that's what we're keeping a close eye on as we head outside today. I think it's also worth noting too that daytime highs today, for now at least, they're sitting in the 60s and 70s. But this is a cold front moving through. And after tomorrow, daytime highs drop down into the 60s right around the corner. So it's going to feel a lot chillier once this atmospheric river sweeps through the Bay Area. But let's time this hour by hour. We're already starting to see some light mist along the coast, just ahead of that major band of rain that really arrives later tonight. This is around 8:30 tonight, still well offshore of the bay. That band sweeps in the early morning hours tomorrow, pushing through the whole Bay Area, clearing up a little bit more into the afternoon hours as it starts to make its way into the Sierra. Now, they can expect anywhere up to around 2 feet of snow. So winter storm warnings and watches are in effect right now for our friends up near Tahoe as that storm system tracks off into that direction. But back here in the Bay, what we're keeping a close eye on is high wind warnings along the coast with a gust up to around 60 miles per hour starting tonight at 10 o'clock, lasting until 10 a.m. tomorrow. And we're also keeping a close eye on those temperatures too. We'll be right back.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
49ers quarterback Brock Purdy has a chance to return Sunday against the Cardinals. Head coach Kyle Shanahan said he'd like to see him fully participate in all 3 practices this week. If Purdy is still not ready to return from his toe injury, the Niners have full confidence in Mac Jones. Against the Rams on Sunday, Jones was 33 of 39, threw for 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's 5-3 as San Francisco's starter and has exceeded expectations with his teammates.
Did you expect Mac Jones to be this good?
No, I did not. I did not. Nope. It's awesome. What a hell of a football player. I get why he was a first-round draft pick.
He's a baller, man. Yeah, he's a baller. Somebody that has proven it day in and day out. So that's one of the beauties of this team, man. We do have depth, you know. Brock's an unbelievable player, and when he goes down, to have somebody like that come up is huge for us.
With the Red and Gold Report, I'm Vern Glenn.
Well, a bittersweet moment for Muni in San Francisco. After 30 years in service, the transit agency is saying goodbye to their Breda light rail trains. Riders had a chance to catch a final trip on the J Church line near Dolores Park today. The Breda fleet was carried millions of people across the city since 1996, from Ocean Beach to Dog Patch. New trains from the company Siemens are now taking their place. That's it for the afternoon edition. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Our next newscast is at 5 o'clock. Hope you have a great afternoon.